Hello everyone, this is Sen from Sen Invest. Today I'll be reviewing a very popular online crypto trading platform known as COTPS, or Crypto's OTC Trading Platform. I'll be sharing the results of my investigation into whether COTPS is legit or a scam. Let's begin. Here I'm looking at the website cotps.net. Now, this appears to be more of the advertising for the platform. We don't actually do the trading on this website. So as I scroll down, I see it's a high-frequency trading crypto platform. The most trustable crypto-native financial platform starts building your crypto empire. Okay, so lots of big promises right from the start. See the introduction. Now this is interesting. This, at first glance, appears to be a video. However, if I go to play it, it doesn't actually appear to be a video, but more just like a picture, a placeholder. Not very professional in my opinion, but oh well, let's go on. Here, this appears to be the flow of the orders within their system, so showing you how they're supposedly putting orders through and making profits for you. So we look at the speed and the security of the system here, advantages. Now the qualifications here. So this is an important element in building trust. It appears that COTPS is a licensed currency dealer. They have a USA MSB license. So let's go ahead to the official website and verify whether they do indeed have this license. So here on the fincen.gov website, an official website of the United States government, I'm going to go and search for COTPS. So just a disclaimer here. It says the inclusion of a business on the MSB registrant search webpage is not a recommendation, certification of legitimacy, or endorsement of the business by any government agency. Okay, simply a registration listing. It doesn't mean that the business is actually legitimate. So here I'm going to search for Crypto's OTC. And sure enough, they are registered on the platform. But again, it doesn't mean that they're a legitimate business, as this disclaimer shows. Back to the web page, we see that they are also a licensed currency dealer in Canada with a Canada MSB license. So let's go ahead and check that out. So this is the FinTrack website from the Canadian government. Again, there's a similar disclaimer to the US site. It says that registration with FinTrack does not indicate FinTrack endorses or licenses the business. It indicates only that the business has satisfied the legal requirements to register. So let's again search for Crypto's OTC. And sure enough, we found them. So it looks like they registered early this year in the month of March. And then here's media coverage. I've checked, and these articles actually do appear to be about COTPS. However, it could be that someone has just paid for these articles to be published. So this is the AZ Central. This is published in January. The contact person's name is John here, only John. Interesting. Okay. So this is the roadmap, and this is where things get a little more interesting. It appears that COTPS is claiming that they established the platform back in 2019, and then in 2020, the number of registered users exceeded 100,000. Okay, so let's go and check this claim. To do that, I'm going to need a tool called HYIP. And HYIP is simply a web domain registration lookup that shows me the details about when a domain was created or modified. So this is looking at cotps.net. It looks like this domain was registered in 2021, which is after 2019. It was registered to a company in Singapore. Now there's also another tool that we can use to look at how a domain changed over time. Let's have a look. This is called the Wayback Machine. Internet Archive's Wayback Machine shows snapshots that were taken of a domain. And we can see here that most of the snapshots of this domain were taken in 2022. There is one from 2021, it appears. So it looks like November 29th, we have a snapshot of the domain. So let's take a look at that. Interesting. I'm no longer finding these team photos on the website. Jane Jenny, Van Fleet, Lisa. Are these real people, or are they simply stock photos? There's a way to find out. We can search for these photos on the Google Images search. So I've searched for the image of Jane Jenny in Google Image Search, and it appears that this is a stock photo of an investment banker. So we can see that there are a bunch of websites here which are using the same or very similar photo of Jane Jenny. So I also searched for the other two individuals and found that they were also very similar. They were stock photos. And you could verify this yourself by downloading the images from the Wayback Machine and searching for them in Google Images. So, in summary, it doesn't appear that Jane Jenny, Van Fleet, or Lisa actually work at COTPS. The beauty of the Wayback Machine is that it allows you to see how a site changed over time. If we were to go to a more recent snapshot here in 2022, let's pull it up. This is from May 9th, and this appears to be more or less the site that we were just looking at. So we can see that it has indeed changed over time. Now let's move on to the second site, which is Cotps.com. This is the trading site. This is where the action happens. So now I'll just give you a brief history of my experience on the platform. So if we look here at my recharge records, we can see that I put about $600 onto the platform, so $598.5. And then if we look at my withdrawal records, we can see that I have withdrawn about $610 from the platform. So that means that I am currently risk-free. The amount that you see here, albeit a very small amount of money, is totally risk-free. I've actually already taken some profit from the platform. So you might ask why I decided to withdraw my funds when I was getting such marvelous returns. So let me show you part of the problem. So here under withdraw, you see that you need a message verification code. So you would simply click to send the verification code to your cell phone. But starting about a week ago, I noticed that the codes were not consistently coming through. So I wasn't sure whether that was simply an overload on the platform or if it's possibly a tactic by COTPS to delay withdrawals from the platform. So I went ahead and withdrew my remaining initial capital as quickly as possible, and I have just left the profits here to accumulate totally risk-free. Another important feature of COTPS is the ability to refer friends. So here we would invite friends, and depending on your level, you would get different commissions. So here 15%, 10%, 5%, depending on the level. This is a big incentive to bring other people to the platform, but it also gives the platform the appearance of a pyramid scheme of sorts. I also have serious doubts whether these very high commission rates are actually sustainable. So now let's look at the website information on Cotps.com. We can see that Cotps.com was registered through GoDaddy, which is a very popular domain registration company. And the key point here is that it was registered in 2019, which matches what COTPS states, but it was updated in 2022. We can also see down here below that the registration is private, but I do understand that a lot of people or companies do prefer privacy. Now let's go over to the Wayback Machine to look at how this domain changed over time. So here in the Wayback Machine, we can see this domain has history all the way back to 2006. So let's go ahead and click on the first record in 2006. So back in 2006, this was a totally unrelated company using the domain Cooley's Old Time Piano Shop Incorporated. Okay, so totally unrelated. Let's go now to 2019 and see how the domain looked. So here, if we look at the domain in 2019, I'm going to click on April 4th here. So this is a Chinese website. It appears to be operating out of Shandong Province in Weifang City. So again, totally unrelated to the COTPS that we see nowadays. Here in mid-2021, it looks like the domain is parked, which might indicate that it was for sale at that time. So let's go and look at how a trade works on COTPS. You can see I have some assets which are waiting to be deployed. I'm going to the transaction hall here. Okay, so I'm going to click on immediate competition for orders. Okay, so this is the Nigerian flag, certified service provider, ergonomics PQ, market price 598.2, transaction price 609.99. The spread between these two prices, the difference is going to be how the profit is made in an arbitrage trade. So let's go over to Binance peer-to-peer and see if we can find this service provider. So NGN for Nigeria, Nigerian currency. I'm now going to search for that 609.99. Ah, here it is, ergonomics de P. So it is 609.99. So my main problem is that I'm not able to see the actual transactions. I'm simply seeing the listing for the advertiser and their going rate. This could all easily be pulled from Binance peer-to-peer exchange via an API. It does not provide proof that a transaction has actually taken place. And you can see I have not even submitted my transaction, but this advertiser is showing here with the going rate. So here on the Binance blog, we can learn a little bit more about crypto arbitrage. Binance P2P, what you need to know about crypto arbitrage. Main takeaways are that arbitrage is the practice of buying and selling assets in different markets. Binance P2P, the official peer-to-peer marketplace of Binance, is a popular platform for many arbitrage traders. On P2P, you'll find price spreads in crypto, local fiat currencies, and global payment methods. So then we can also find there are ways to do arbitrage. We can do it all on Binance P2P. We can also use the Binance traditional exchange together with P2P, and then you can also trade on different platforms outside of Binance. So while arbitrage is a legitimate type of trading activity, as we can see from this article, I don't believe there is actually any arbitrage occurring on COTPS. My reasoning behind this is that arbitrage is highly competitive. If you don't take the trade first, basically someone else is going to beat you to it. Now, given the recent difficulty with COTPS sending out text messages, I realize there may be an issue with their service provider, but still, I have a very hard time believing that they're running a state-of-the-art arbitrage trading algorithm on their platform. And finally, let's look at a tool to track your withdrawals from COTPS. So this is Tronscan, tronscan.org. This is my USDT TRC20 wallet. We can see here that I had a deposit of USDT about 8 days ago. So this should match my last transfer, which I showed you earlier on the COTPS platform. So let's click on the transaction hash. And yes, this does match the $300, which I successfully withdrew from the platform. You can see this is the actual wallet, the address from COTPS. Let's click on it. So here you can actually track the COTPS wallet that is sending you the funds and monitor the balances on this wallet. So this wallet has since been pretty much fully depleted. We can see that there's only about $4 left in this wallet. However, it does appear that COTPS has multiple wallets that they're using to send transactions. So the wallet sending transactions has obviously changed since this time. So you would have to track the most recent wallets using your USDT address. So at this point, I don't recommend getting into CTPOS. Based on what I showed you earlier with the changes to the website and the claims from CTPOS, it does not appear that this is a legitimate company. Also, recently they have been having some issues with withdrawals, which might be legitimately related to their SMS provider, or it might be a stall tactic to frustrate users which are simply trying to withdraw their funds. I'm not really sure. However, if you are determined to deposit money going forward, I'd like to introduce you to a program which I created to analyze your risk. Let's have a look. So this is a Python script. If you're on a Mac or Linux computer, you simply would run the Python command from your terminal to open Python. If you don't have Python installed, you would need to download it from the Python website. In Windows, it's a bit similar. You use the command prompt, but the command is py instead of Python. Now it's time to run the program. So this is the risk analyzer.py. So I designed the software to work not only with COTPS, but really with any type of HYIP, which is basically a high-yield investment project. So it's going to ask you first, what percentage does the project pay daily? I'm just going to go ahead and enter 3 here. How long do you expect the project to last? Okay, so let's just put in, say, 90 days. I am not saying here that COTPS will last another 3 months. This is only for example. How often do you want to withdraw profits? So this is only going to withdraw profits. It's not going to withdraw your initial capital. Let's go ahead and withdraw profits weekly. So I'll put in 7 days. How much do you wish to invest? I'm going to put $1,000 in. Again, I'm not recommending that you put any money in COTPS. This is only an example. So this here shows a graph here. The message states that strategy might become risk-free in 34 days. Okay, so the vertical red line here is at 34 days, and then this red line, this horizontal line, is just the line at 0 here. We can see it's between -80 and 379. So the expected return for this strategy is a positive $394. So given the small amount of time that I'd be at risk on this chart, which is really only about 1/3 of the time in the system, I stand a pretty good chance of making a profit. But if COTPS were to go down before I made my first withdrawal, I would lose the full investment, which we see here. So let's do another example here. So I'm going to again be getting 3%. I expect now the project to last for 30 days. I'm really not feeling confident about the project now. So now I want to withdraw my profits every day. I want to minimize my risk. Now, how much do I want? So how much do I want to invest? I'm going to again put in 1,000. So here, this type of strategy never becomes risk-free. Actually, the average value that I would lose would be about $535, even though I am withdrawing every day. That's because when I did the weekly withdrawals, I was actually compounding on my profits. Okay, and compounding basically allows money to grow faster. When I do daily withdrawals, compounding can't happen, so my profits are less. While compounding does give you higher returns faster, there's also the added risk because it's a longer time frame between withdrawals. So it's a really tight balance here between risk and high profits. Let's run one more example. So I'm going to put in 3% again. Let's do 45 days. And I want to withdraw my profits after 1 month. 1,000 again. So here we see I might become profitable in 29 days. This is provided that COTPS platform remains operational for the 29 days that I have my money deposited with them. So you can see that I am at full risk here until I make that withdrawal at day 30. But once I do, the platform has paid for itself. And if I were to continue running until 45, I would actually have $427 in profits. However, my expected return with this strategy is still negative because of the large amount of time when I was at full risk. So if you like this tool and feel that it would be useful in analyzing your risk in high-yield investment projects, I have great news for you. I'm offering it free of charge. You simply have to go to the link that I provided in the description to this video, sign up for my newsletter, and then I'll email this script to you free of charge. Well, that's it for today's coverage of COTPS. If you found today's content helpful, please remember to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below, and give a thumbs up. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.